Okay, it's Wednesday, October 16th. I have shortened my bolts and rethreaded them. Like I said I was going to do. There they are, of course, right there. Already got that part together, got it bolted to the pedestal. I ended up just buying a cheap Harbor Freight tap and die set. $14. It was right here in town, so made it convenient. And the thread size is a M8 by 1.25. So, and this tap set, your 1.25 is over here, then an M8 1.0 is over here. It's got a bunch of different sizes, so pretty handy. I don't mess with metric bolts that much, so it'll probably last me. It cut the bolts pretty good, so all I got left to do to the turbo, since I've already got the pedestal on there, I did pour some oil down in the passages through the bottom right here and spun it around, then let it drain back out because it's not going to stay up in there, of course. And all I got left is to put my exhaust flange here that wires off into the up pipes. They gave me a new gasket with that kit, the pedestal kit, new bolts with the lock washers. So we're going to put all that on. Looks like we got two different sizes here. Don't know. No, they're the same. So I'm going to put that on, but I'm not going to put it on the truck just yet. And I'll tell you why after I get this on. We're just going to put this on real quick. And the bolt heads, now originally the stock ones are 15 millimeter. These, I'm sure the thread is metric. I'm not even going to bother to check. But 11/16 fits these. 15 millimeter is too small for this bolt head, and 18's too big. I don't have a 17 millimeter, if that even exists. Not sure, I don't know my metrics. So we just go through here. This one here, this is the one that I took off. When I took it off while this was on the truck, I unbolted it while it was on the truck, and ended up having to take one of these bolts out to get to it. I don't have any swivel sockets in a 11/16. The wrench will get on. Yeah, I got some travel here. I can go under the intake housing, just like that. Now, one thing I need to check. I should have checked it before I put this on. I want to make sure all my pedestal bolts. And that's what I was afraid of. You got to get your pedestal bolt in before you put this on. So I got to take that back off. Alright, so I got my bolts in. Stuck it in a vise here. Did not crank down too tight, just wanted to hold it still so I could tighten them real good. But yeah, put this one, well, yeah, that one, you'd be better off having that one in there before you put this on too. And especially this one. That one won't even try to go in. This one you could probably manipulate in, but I don't want to try it. Almost dropped it. Thought I was going to drop it. Now, so I'm not going to put it on the truck yet. I'm going to show you what else we got going on before I do that. So, as you remember, I mentioned I was thinking maybe the oil pan or the rear main was leaking, and several people, back when I was making videos on this a couple years ago, before I just stopped working on this truck for a while, were saying, no way, the rear main never leaks. Well, like I said, never say never. Now, I don't think my rear main's leaking. And I looked up some videos, and yes, sometimes the rear main does leak. But in my case, it's the pan. And a lot of people will tell you, you cannot get the pan off as easy without pulling the engine. But there is one guy, I think it was, I forgot his name, Tech Diesel Ron. I think that was his channel name. But he actually said when you get the transmission out, you can jack the engine up and remove the pan. Now, what I did was, I knew this thing was dripping, and you can see a spot right there when it's sitting still, not running. And I would get one little drop per day. And now that I got the transmission off, you can see it's leaking right there. Not here, which is the rear main, but there, which is this between the, looks like it's wet up here, and mostly and running down and dripping there. And it was a wet mess, and I cleaned it all up back there so I could see exactly where it's dripping at. But I think I can get lucky, take this whole plate off, and just reseal it right here, because that's where it's leaking. I'm not leaking up here along the side of the pan. Now they do sell a gasket. Moroso makes a gasket for these pans. Originally, these trucks, I don't think, have a gasket, pan gasket. They just use this gray RTV stuff, gray or a white, whatever. Yeah, this, in this case, it's a gray. I'm just going to get some Permatex gray. I'm going to take this whole thing off. I will probably go ahead and put a rear main in it, but first I want to make sure I can get this leak stopped while it's not running. And I want to do all that before I put the turbo on, because I don't want to put a bunch of new oil in it and find out that I still have a leak. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain the old oil out of this, probably only drain about half of it so it'll stop dripping right here, and seal this up, take this off. I'm going to leave the rear main on the plate, and if I get this leak stopped where it's not leaking while it's not running, I'm going to go ahead and put a new rear main in it, just because I'm already in here, already got it apart, so I might as well do it, because I'll be kicking myself if I put it all together and a year or two down the road the rear main starts leaking. But we'll see what it looks like. So, and as far as the clutch goes, I thought about upgrading the clutch. I got the stock clutch set up, but I did replace this in like 2003 or 4, and look at the flywheel. Still got the marks on it, so I'm not going to, I'm going to put it all back together. I'm just going to clean it up and use what I got. The disc is over there. Oh, I think I got some blurriness going on here. But the disc is over there, and it looks fine. So does the clutch plate. Let's see if I can walk over here without falling over a bunch of stuff. Here's the disc. Better view of it. And that still looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it on there. I would like to later on do an upgrade. It's just that I've already spent the money on the turbo parts. And since that looks good, it'll get us going, and maybe I can do an upgrade next winter or something. If I hopefully get this running for next summer. See how that works. And here's a stock flywheel. They also upgrade these. Some kits upgrade these. It gets rid of all these springs and stuff, but none of mine's broke. I heard that they can break and fall out and cause trouble. And even my pilot bearing, it could stand to be lubed up. Yeah, I'm going to clean it out with some WD-40, and then I'm going to put some new grease in it. It's fine. Pilot bushing looks good. Another leak I want to fix between the transfer case the transmission right here. This gasket, it's just old and rotten. I'm going to replace it. And this gasket. I got to figure out which case I have and the exact name of this transmission that I have in this. And it's not leaking here, so I'm not going to disturb that seal. Rear seal, not leaking, not going to mess with it. So I may order a throwout bearing. It's got a little play in it, but it's not acting like it's wanting to bind up or anything. So I'm going to drain the oil out of this tonight and get that plate off. Pick up some Permatex hopefully tomorrow on the way home from work and seal it back up. And I'll show you how it works out after I get it all back together. I'm not going to take it off on video. Thanks for watching.